Hi Peter. Today we're celebrating your legacy with you stepping down from your position as CEO, and we're going to talk about a few items from the NSPCC archive. Recently we created an exhibition to celebrate our 140th anniversary, so we'll look at some of those items and have a little conversation about them.
Brilliant. Let's go for it.
Excellent. So Peter, I believe you're the 5th longest serving CEO at the NSPCC.
That's right, and there have only been 12 of us in the entire 140 years of the NSPCC's history, and I had no idea of that when I took the job. I mean, if there wasn't enough pressure and sense of extraordinary privilege to hold the chief executive role in this iconic and vitally important charity already, when I found out that there'd only been 12 of us, that was quite something. And the original founder, of course, of the NSPCC, Reverend Benjamin Moore, there's a blue plaque to him. There's at least one. I think there's one in Greenwich, and I think his grave is out near Southend somewhere. People send me photographs of these things all the time, so I'm fascinated by the NSPCC's history. The longest serving CEO was the Reverend Arthur Morton. He managed, not that I'm counting, 24 years and 7 months, I think. 2 of the 12 chief executives of the NSPCC loved the job so much that they actually died in office. So it has been quite a thing to choose to offer someone else the opportunity to take on this role, you know. So for me, Benjamin Moore is a particularly influential and inspiring leader, not just because he was there first, but because by 1889, so that's within 5 years of creating the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, government had passed its first Children's Act, which was the moment at which we acknowledged as a nation that children weren't simply responsibility of the adults they happened to be born to or living with, and that the state did have an obligation and a responsibility to protect the safety and well-being of children alongside parents and families. So 5 years was what that took. So he was in a hurry, and that for me has been a real kind of motivating factor. When people say, well, it's all very difficult and what are we going to do, and these things take time and the problems are too big to overcome. Well, look what our founder did with his supporters within 5 years. What can we do within 5 years? So a huge strength of the NSPCC has been to reinvent itself to be relevant for the times and to walk towards the babies, children and young people who need us most. And what we've got on display in the library at the moment are all sorts of interesting artefacts that illustrate the ways in which the NSPCC has moved with the times to be relevant and vitally important to those children who need us.